Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of D&V Investigations. How are you tonight? I hope everyone is well. I am still trying to work out a few kinks here, and I think I may have messed up the little chat thing. I don't know. Let's see. We're going to try this again. I have the cap open, and I'm just going to do this the old-fashioned way. Hello. I hope everybody has had a great week. I have. It's been nice. I got to babysit the greatest dog on the fucking planet. And so that's always kind of exciting. I know, not much, but he's cool. It was a lovely Thanksgiving. I hope you all had one too. Ah, goodness gracious. So, since I can't actually pay attention to what's going on here on the chat, I'm just going to give a general hello. Ah, and it says it won't capture any messages. Let's see. Activate source. I hope this works. Oh my goodness. I think I've got it, people. I think I've got it. Hello. Ah, so, yes. One of these days, I'm gonna just kick ass at this OBS shit. But for now, hi. And, and, wow. This is just too freaking great. Hello, Aldous. Hello, Snuggy Jr. And hello, Kirk. Welcome. Yes, well read. You are unblocked. I think you've been unblocked for quite some time, but I'm not really positive. I think it's been a while. So, ah, and this is so good. Yes, it is. I even got the little chat highlight thing to work, and I'm super excited about that. I so Oh, and I have so much to talk about this evening. We have the Ethan Klein Casey Tron, ugh, oh gosh, hostage video because they came to a settlement. She's the first one. M- Uh, as we've talked about the Denims one, they're still going after all of the Reddit mods, and Morgan Frogan still hasn't responded yet, and they haven't filed for default. So, God only knows what's really happening with that. We have, oh, bitching about the King's book. That's always fun. We've got Katydid did a book review, and oh my goodness, was it something else. We got a new guy who I didn't even know existed until just a little while ago, and he's already quit CG. Yeah, I ran across his video on Twitter, and it was interesting. It was interesting. Um, we had the King's Room Purge. I'm not going to talk too much about Liam per se, except how it relates to Vaughn, because Vaughn is leaving Comicsgate. Finally. Gosh, we're going to miss him, aren't we? JDA got kicked off of Kickstarter again. Yes, again. I put together a little bit JDA history kind of thing, um, to see, oh, I don't know. I thought some of you all might find it interesting just because he's such a shit, right? And, ah, boy, we've got, and there are some new people around who don't really know much about JDA at all. Then, of course, we have the Mint and Riley breakup. I was trying to figure out a way to cleverly use toss and salad in my promo on my thumbnail in the name, but yeah, I it didn't happen. I failed miserably. That's all right. Um, Vito and Tony were on the kill stream, so we're gonna take a brief look at that. And I think we're gonna start with the H3H3 stuff. Yeah. So, in case you didn't know, uh, they reached a settlement. I believe it was yesterday. They were going into court-ordered mediation. And, yeah, I'm gonna make the chat a little bit smaller here and maybe even make myself a little bit smaller. Just a tad while we go through this video here.
I don't want to see any negative. I don't want to see people being rude to her. I genuinely
Hold on.
have forgiven her. I'm moving on.
I think I know what I need to do. See, I failed at something. All these clips that I put in here, and this is the one thing I didn't fix. So we're gonna try this again.
I don't want to see any negative. I don't want to see people being rude to her. I genuinely have forgiven her. I'm moving on. And it's water under the bridge. I don't want to see anybody being. I'm being dead serious. No, let's not be nasty to her, guys. This is it. Okay, it's over. We won. That's it. We won, right? So let's just move on and thank her. Thank you.
For infringing
I'm being dead serious. Please do not.
The lawsuit was not frivolous. When I said the lawsuit was frivolous and based on misogyny, it was to garner sympathy, protect my own reputation, and retaliate against the Kleins. This lawsuit has given me a greater understanding of copyright protection, people's copyrights, and the importance of protecting copyrights in the online content creation community. It is important for the entire content creation community to respect the intellectual property rights of other creators, and I will adhere to the lessons I've.
Okay, I actually haven't watched this yet, so I don't have much to say. I downloaded it from Twitter, and I thought we could, like, surprise ourselves with it. But man, this is a total hostage video. Oh, I'm so sorry, Black Hat Cinephile, that you do not know. Okay, so Ethan Klein, H3H3 Podcast, sued 3 Twitch streamers for copyright infringement. This lovely young lady who goes by the handle Casey Tron, a lady that goes by Frogan, and another one that goes by Denims. All of this stuff has been covered in previous streams, but Casey here, well, she was the poorest of the 3. I think she may have raised, I can't remember where in the hierarchy she raised money, and how much she managed to get from her GoFundMe, but she is the very first of the 3 to settle the copyright infringement lawsuit, which, if she had been found liable for, would have been statutory damages somewhere around $100,000, I think. But pretty high up there, like enough to wipe her out for good. So let's keep going.
Learn throughout this process going forward. I also want to make clear that I did not receive any support, financial or otherwise, from Hassan Piker. Hassan never even reached out to me privately to offer words of support. Speaking honestly, I found his indifference to my suffering hurtful, especially after he hinted he might help me behind the scenes. It felt like he wanted to receive credit from the public for helping me without providing any. As to the GoFundMe money, to the extent there are any remaining funds after I pay my attorney's fees, I have agreed to pay the remaining funds to the Kleins. The funds will not go to anyone else, including Denims or Frogan, to defend their lawsuits. For the record, I have agreed to cooperate with the Kleins in their litigation against the H3 Snark mods for promoting my live stream to the extent that I am able. I will offer my support, including testifying under oath to everything I have just stated, to help their cause. I also want to take the opportunity to acknowledge other misconduct and bad behavior I have exhibited online. For example, weaponizing the death of Asmongold's mother was inexcusable. I should know better because I have 3 disabled people that rely on me. Moving forward, I will do better. I also want to apologize.
Man, he had her by the short and fucking curlies, didn't he? Man, she's this statement is going far beyond just her copyright infringement, man.
To the crew of the H3 podcast, particularly AB and Olivia.
Yeah.
I apologize for calling them cowards for not quitting their jobs. That was a shameful attack on 2 people who deeply care about Palestine and Palestinian people.
It's true.
AB, along with his wife Lena, have done more than I have ever done for the Palestinian people, including raising over $100,000 in charity. Yeah. I recognize that they have actually made Palestinian lives better, and my online antagonism and trolling has not.
Yeah.
I apologize to Ethan and Gila personally. I have said extremely mean and cruel things about both of them, particularly my misogynistic attacks against Gila that never should have been said. I also want to acknowledge the pervasive problem of anti-Semitism in leftist spaces. It should concern all of us. I condemn it and will not participate in it. To that end, I wish the clients success in enforcing TED Entertainment's copyright and protecting the legal rights of online content creators.
Just sit on that for a sec.
Goodness gracious. Man. She threw everybody under the bus. Hassan, the snark mods, the other ladies. Wow, what a huge win for Ethan Klein. Man, I know settlements don't always mean that there's a winner or a loser, but shit, that was huge. Anyway, goodness gracious. Ah, we're gonna hop back to Comicsgate. I know, that was just a brief foray out of our little sphere here. Though at the end of the stream, spheres will collide once again. And I think we should talk about the King's Book. Just because Ethan, Shane, and Malin were. Apparently they, caused some problems. Because Shane and Malin always manage to cause problems when they stream without without Ethan.
Well, you guys are getting in trouble over the Mike Barron script, or at least
What about it?
there are some people, some individuals who are trying to Chris Brawley from Bleeding Fool, who are trying Bleeding Fool, yeah, not Bleeding Cool, Bleeding Fool, who are like upset that. Well, I mean, they're upset that you guys criticized. He's upset, not there.
I think that we see Ethan enough, so I don't care that his face is covered by the chat. Just saying.
He's not non-binary. I believe he identifies as he/him.
Singular, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. I think he's upset because like you guys made fun of Mike Barron, or no, it wasn't just you guys. It was Tom Tuttle too. Tom Tuttle did a real strange review of the Polymath.
Was he more mad? Hold on, what was he more mad at? Me and Shane laughing about Black Friday talking ghetto, or
yeah, he was more mad about that. I think,
or chewing through a full body of work of Mike Barron's.
I think
Shane totally doesn't want to be talking about this at all. All he wants to do is sit there and play his fucking video game. He wants nothing to do with this conversation.
it compounded like it was like, oh well, here's these guys. I don't know if talking shit like this publicly is good for anyone.
Us talking our spiteful shit about that project.
Yeah,
got 10 times more people talking about it yesterday than any other day.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah. Malin ascribes to the all publicity is good publicity thing. It doesn't quite been working that well for indie comics, but hey, why not? It's gotten Comicsgate this far in way too many years.
You know, I
Yeah.
think it's okay. You know, what Mike Barron did is kind of like a skeleton of a story. Like,
Yeah, draft.
like there's no possible way. Like
I'm gonna need to weigh in on at some point.
here
on
we
this.
go.
Yeah, Shane's the only one that's.
No, here we go. I mailed him. I mailed Mike books.
Yeah.
Okay. Spent the money, mailed him books.
Yeah.
He doesn't understand how big my character is. Like
Size
even
of a
in the
house,
script,
skyline.
No,
yeah,
he means
even
popular. He means popular.
No, I mean like he has Alex holding pads for 232, and
Yeah, you can't do that.
no, and it's like Chris is like, oh, well, where's the constructive criticism? It's like I've been giving it to Mike for about 2 weeks
Right
in
up
my
the
DMs, and Mike isn't getting it. So I just went in there and wrote my damn pages.
That's all I did too, Shane. I said, good job, Mike.
Yeah, well, yeah,
And I
but
rewrote it.
I mean, but you know, that was a waste of my money mailing Mike books that he obviously.
Oh my God. Shane had to spend a few bucks sending Mike Barron some books. Like, that old guy, and he expected Barron to read him. Does he even know if he sent him to the right place? Maybe he sent him to Chris Brawley instead of to Mike Barron. I don't know. But that Shane is complaining about postage. How fucking tight is it over there in the Davis household? How fucking tight is the money?
Didn't
Oh,
read.
don't be mad.
You know?
Don't be bitter
No,
about that.
but I'm not being bitter. Chris is being, you know, is he working on the book? If he's not, then he can kiss my ass.
He's Mike Barron's friend. That's all it is.
That's
He's Mike
fine.
Barron's friend.
Oh.
And he's sticking up for his friend.
That makes sense. Okay.
He's sticking up for his friend. I would stick up for you too.
Yeah.
I'd stick up for
Well,
John Malin.
yeah,
I'd
but at
stick up
some
for
point in
Anna
time-
and Mandy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, as far as I know, he's doing just fine with Black Riding Hood. He just doesn't talk ghetto.
Oh yeah, Black Riding Hood is smarter than the urban blight.
Average.
Yeah, everybody
Creature.
around him.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd stick up for all my friends except for Von Klaus.
Evidently.
Yeah, he's the only one I won't. Liam, though, I will.
Shane read me a page that featured Black Riding Hood. And yeah, that was just it. That was my criticism. So I don't know why Chris is mad at me, other than stating the obvious that you know, Black Riding Hood don't talk black.
I don't know if he's mad. I think he's just.
I just get rolled up in everybody else's shit.
Yeah, Shane Davis's shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shane Davis is shit. And these guys, they're not happy with the story Mike's writing. Chris Brawley, by the way, isn't just Mike Barron's friend. And excuse me. Oh wow, I'm sorry. And they shouldn't, like, by now they should know who Chris Brawley is. He's basically Mike Barron's manager slash campaign manager slash publicist slash, you know, personal assistant. He is the front man for Mike Barron, and that they don't know who he is. I personally think he's an asshole, but you know that they're like, I don't know who Brawley is. Yeah, it's his business guy, his manager. His name is all over. I believe it used to be that Chris Brawley's name was on the Kickstarters, and the Indiegogos and stuff like that too. I mean, like he's the guy. Yeah, he is a bleeding fool dude too, and he's an asshole, and he likes to swear at me from an alt and call me names. It's been a while, but he used to do that because his primary account is such a good Christian dude. You were muted. You're showing up in my chat. Nobody should have muted anything, Michael. So, now we're going to move on to Katydid's review of The Immortal Mask by Denali. Now, literally, this is all she did. This was the most passive-aggressive shit I have seen from a bitch online in quite a while. Let me tell you. She was so mad, George, and everybody put her on blast. Put her on blast for having that book for 2 years and never doing the courtesy of reviewing it like she said she would. So she sat there for I don't know how many hours, because I didn't stick around for her comments at the end, man, because I was so uninterested in what she had to say about it. She sits down, you know, she's got her hair in, she's wearing her little hat, because you're going to be seeing the top of her head, and you just can't do that. You'll see where everything all connects and shit, right? And she puts on this little tank top and this big old flannel shirt, because it's winter in the cunny. Whatever. She purposely buttons it one button lower than she normally would, because you can see the fucking button, how it's kind of pulled out a little bit. That's usually her top button. And nobody's gonna not, every time she fixes this shirt, she should be pulling that fucking collar up. Instead, she's not. Because she decided to do some sort of weird OnlyFans shit. Now, that's my music, not hers. Most of this was fucking silent. It started with some sort of, like, I don't know, copyright free, hip-hoppy shit. But quickly that got turned off. I think she just fucking forgot. So she's sitting there under that shit lighting, her filters not knowing what the fuck to do, letting her shirt flip further and further and further down. It was so weird. So weird. Nobody reads a comic book as much as she was fucking fidgeting. Nobody. She's bending the thing. She's cracking the spine. She brutalized that book and didn't even know how much disrespect she was showing to it. Crazy bitch. I'm sorry. It was so fucking strange. Yes, I heard about this. That she might start putting on like pretty outfits to do these little read streams. Girl, you didn't get enough super chats to justify that kind of shit. I'm sorry. This was just... You don't have mint salad's tits, Katie. Or her ass. Or her hairline. This was just beyond horrible. And I'm being kind of extra catty, but damn, she doesn't deserve it. I'm sorry. It just deserves it. I must say, though, I have tremendous amounts of respect for George into trolling her to sit there for like 3 hours pretending to read the fucking comic book passive aggressively. He did a really fucking good job. So, next we're going to talk about the new guy. I know. None of you even know who he is. But like I said, it has, well, maybe I didn't. Maybe I hadn't mentioned it. But to me, it says a lot about where CG is going for people who aren't part of the sector.
Every time I think it can't get worse, it gets worse.
Okay, so new guy's name, his channel is EV Comics. Maybe you guys saw it somewhere, but yeah, he's been around, I guess, for a couple of years. That's yeah. So.
There are a lot of opinions that I've held that I've kind of just kept to myself because I don't want to start any arguments. I don't want to, get in arguments on Twitter as much as I can. I try to stay out of it. But in this situation, it's one of those where I feel like it's so blatantly the wrong choice. It's bothering. It's bothering. This entire situation is EVS's fault. Like, is entirely on him. So, I mean, there's a lot going on with him. He's dealt with a lot as far as, like, cancel culture goes, when that was in full swing back in the, mid to late 2010s, whenever. And look, when it started, the idea was just this. The idea was that we were going to make good comics and leave political messaging, modern political messaging out of it, which is what a lot of people want. A lot of people can get behind it. Now, there was a lot of bad actors that made the movement look worse than it is. There's a lot of people who have scammed, a lot of people who have been exposed to be not necessarily grifters, not all of them. Some of them are grifters, yes. Those are like the true scammers. But a lot of them just kind of use the movement or the ideals of the movement to try and make money. You got people like JDA, which is a total AI fraud at this point, that just basically uses the culture war as his way of making sales. But overall, the movement was basically supposed to be creating comics, right? Creating good comics and just having a fun time with it. And there's a lot of people from that were like previously in the industry, like Marvel and DC and Image and all that kind of stuff, that were involved with this, and they came together to do this. Like they basically formed this group to make the things that Marvel and DC weren't making anymore.
History break. Yeah. That's not how it happened at all. Comicsgate was not formed by guys from Marvel and DC and Image coming together to make politically benign comic books because they'd been canceled. No. Comicsgate was started by a bunch of fans who got tired of politics in their books. Little Richie Meyer took notice. Through Richard Meyer, we got Ethan because they were backstage friends. They were Facebook friends. That's how Comicsgate got the one pro from Marvel/DC. The one pro. That's where it started. Yeah. So, carrying on.
My honest thoughts on it is that the movement has sort of lost its way, I think, because last year, and this is one of the things that stuck out to me, there was a Trump cover variant for Cyberfrog.
There were actually 3 Trump variants for Cyberfrog, 1 red, 1 green, and 1 blue. The last one was just the new one. The 2 previous were from a few years ago.
Which is like, okay, I guess we're no longer being apolitical anymore with our comics. And what you get what you get now in a lot of comics that are coming out of Comics Day these days, they are very much right-wing. And I have a problem with that, because that's not what we were supposed to be doing here. That's not what the goal was supposed to be, right? That's not what comic creators were supposed to be aspiring to do. Along the way, Comicsgate became more Dramagate, and nothing has proven that more than EVS himself from what he said in the past couple of days. Essentially, what his reasoning is because he's around.
It's only been the last couple of days, guys. It hasn't been this ongoing blood feud that he has with Eric July. No, it was just Vaughn getting kicked out of the King's room that really, really shows you what Ethan, how drama attached Ethan is.
Autism a lot, not just with his daughter, but with his daughter's school, and basically everyone in the comics industry has a little bit of autism. All right, I'm throwing myself into that one. All right, everyone's a little autistic in the comic book industry. Okay, but the point is, jokes aside, the point is that Van Sciver is around autism a lot, and he says that Liam Gray probably also has autism, probably has some form of it that causes him to be unable to de-escalate a situation or walk away from a situation that he wants to start an argument with. And because of that, he can't be held accountable for what he does. Now that is cap, because in a vacuum, yes. In a vacuum, if someone cannot help themselves as a mental condition, obviously we need to treat them a little bit differently than a person who is fully accountable for themselves without mental conditions, right? But couple things here. One, we don't know if the guy has autism. There's absolutely no evidence of this whatsoever. The thing is that we don't even know if that's true. That's just what EVS says. That's just what he thinks. Which, you know what? Fine. Okay. You know what? I can take his experience to mean a little bit more than me saying it, because he's more, you know, involved with it. Okay, fine. Let's say that's the case. You still don't platform the guy who's constantly being an ass to everyone that he knows, constantly.
Yeah. So, Liam is not autistic. He's not even internet autistic. He is mentally unwell. Ethan knows that Liam is mentally unwell. Ethan was on all the live streams on JDA's channel that led to Liam first being committed for suicidal ideation a couple of years ago. Not only that, Ethan was on the live stream that JDA had when they found out that Liam had been committed. The one where Ethan blamed all of Liam's friends. Yeah. Ethan knows that Liam is mentally unwell. He likes having Liam around. Liam is his new Nasser, you see. Now Nasser, he kept Nasser around the entire chat. Fuck Nasser. Fuck Nasser. Get rid of Nasser. He just replaced him.
36.4% say keep Vaughn, Jess, and Liam. 37% say Jess and both. Now, keep in mind that this poll came after.
Oh, by the way, Twitter polls are shit. Don't ever rely on a Twitter poll for anything, any kind of opinion on anything.
Vaughn already admitted that he was just going to leave Comicsgate after this whole debacle anyway. So the numbers might even be skewed from there. But just looking at these numbers, it is in favor that people want Liam gone more than they want Vaughn gone. Vonster has also been kicked from the group because, from EVS's words, Vonster constantly complained about Liam. My question is, why shouldn't he complain about Liam? Because everyone, it seems, the majority of people in the community complain about Liam. My criticism for Vonster is that I think you should also use Twitter less. I think all of us should use Twitter less, especially whenever you're doing stuff like this, which is side remarks, not pointing out the person you're talking about in a Facebook type of drama way. It's not good. You're just feeding into what Van Sciver wants you to do. You are becoming the source of drama that he can make comments about in his stream. And his stream is very important to him, and this has been my opinion for a long time, is that Van Sciver is obviously more of a drama Twitch streamer than a comic creator at this point. The Twitch streams and stuff is how he makes his money consistently. The comics make him a good amount of money, don't get me wrong. Rainbow got him like over 500,000 in just 2020 alone. He made the goal, and now it's climbed up to 500,000, right?
How to age a comic skater. When they tell you how much money Rainbow the Brute made, and that was only a fraction of Wreck Planet, which made $1.2 million, by the way. $1.2 million. And Ethan is struggling to crack $250,000 now. Yeah. But if you've been around Comicsgate and you're trying to say how big a shit Ethan is, Tom Tuttle's never going to mention Rainbow the Brute. He's going to mention Wreck Planet. Also, yeah, he did get in the little dig about Rainbow the Brute not being out. Oh, yeah, Ethan fulfilled one book campaign this year. One. And it was the Warts and All reprint. One. Horrifying.
You kicked Liam from the group. Why did you kick Vaughn? Because the only reason that Vaughn wasn't participating, as you say, is because Liam is participating. And Vaughn knows that if he gets on a call or even in a chat with Liam in it, Liam's going to start beef with him, because that's how Liam works. Because you have platformed Liam to be able to do this constantly. So why would Vonster ever get involved? Why would he? There's no point. There's no point, because he knows every single time he joins is going to be an argument. That's why he talks trash about Liam. That's why he doesn't get involved, because Liam is constantly there to get involved with him in a negative light. And then I reply, it would be easy to ignore Liam if you haven't platformed him for so long. But Skyver says, I can't help it. He's a likable fellow and he's good on YouTube. Likable fellow. But then he says good on YouTube. Now that's interesting. That's interesting. He is admitting to using him for views, even though he knows it's bad for him to be on the internet. It's bad for him to be in this position where he can make arguments with people every single day for no reason. It's bad for him to be in the group chat and the call because there's people that he has beef with, because who does he not have beef with? That will constantly try to avoid him and thus not join the call, aka Vonster. You are not just losing Vonster, you're losing a good creator who is good at fulfillment as well, much faster at it than you by meaning Van Sciver. You are losing the actual quality creator and all the potential crossover and promotion and just the community cohesion. You're losing all of that for the sake of Liam.
No, dude. He's sacrificing all of that for the sake of views. He doesn't give a shit about community cohesion anymore. Listen to Ethan talk, man. It's all about what Ethan needs now for Ethan. And I said when Liam became a CG King that this is what Ethan wanted to do with him, that this was going to be his purpose. He was the guy that was going to be brought in, then kicked around, then tucked back under a wing. Vaughn failed the test, is what Vaughn did. Vaughn failed the test. He could have said privately to Ethan, listen, I'd really like to be able to join the Comicsgate king drawstrings, even though I'm a writer, more frequently. Apparently he drew on one, I guess. But I can't because of Liam. Maybe Ethan would not bring Liam on to a show. Maybe. You never know unless you try. But the one thing you can't do, and this is why both Liam and Vaughn got the boot, you can't be a Comicsgate king beefing with other Comicsgate kings, my guy. You can't. They can beef with anybody else under the fucking sun. But if you are in Ethan's little green rooms, you can't fight with anybody else in his little green rooms because somebody might get blocked and booted. I don't know if that happens anymore because I know I'm in a couple of like one DM group on Twitter. Yeah, just this one. And a couple of those people have me blocked, but I'm still in the DM group. So I don't know if they changed that feature or not. But Ethan doesn't want them fighting with each other. Liam wasn't just kicked because, well, also because of the whole fake suicide thing, because that was just fucking stupid. Katydid's pretending she wasn't kicked for, bugging people too fucking much. And oh yeah, she hasn't been clipping shit Ethan can use for his live streams. She's been clipping the Kings and I think maybe Finn, but she's been clipping a bunch of people Ethan can't use, which is so good. So good. Speaking of Vaughn, Ethan had a few things to say about that when he was speaking with Shane and Malin.
You know what? Here's the thing. If I brought Liam back into Comicsgate Kings, I would have won $10,000 off of that $500 easily.
Yeah, karma.
Yeah, karma. Like all the right people would be angry. The people who were using Von Klaus as a way to get leaks from the King's Room, who were all suddenly really upset, big fans of Von Klaus. Oh my gosh, why did you kick him out of there? Now we don't have any leaker inside the King's Room. All those guys would be upset if I brought Liam back. And I would win.
Is that confirmed though, or is that?
No, it's something that I believe. Yeah.
Okay.
I do believe that, just based on, I don't have any evidence for it at all, but that doesn't stop me from saying things or believing them. Yeah, I mean, I just know it in my gut, and even if I'm wrong, I'm still right. But I just happen to I'm like, whoa, what is all this energy coming from a certain sector of anti-Comicsgate? Like, why are they so upset that I kicked Vaughn? That's weird. Why are the other 6 people who I threw out just fine? And Vaughn is like, what the fuck? And so ready to quit Comicsgate over it. It's very peculiar. Very peculiar.
Maybe they'll be like, shucks, we should just be pals.
I would like that. I would like it if they could just be pals.
Yeah.
In fact, I insist on it. And everybody has to do what I say. You should hear this shit, dude. It's retarded. I've been going through hell for the past 3 days over this.
I'm surprised it's still a hot topic.
Yeah, I'm telling you, there's energy behind it for a reason. There is energy behind it like this for a reason. Who cares? Honestly, I couldn't give a fuck about Von Klaus. He's a nice guy. Oh yeah, his books are good. I don't care. He's not on Kings. I don't talk to him. In terms of my life, me doing what I do, I don't care about him.
Of course he doesn't. Jesus. Of course he doesn't give a fuck about Vaughn. Why should he? He's just some dude selling comic books on time. Pretty well written comic books, actually. A Monster MD was pretty freaking good. But the reason it's getting this much pushback is because You gave the people a binary choice, pretty much. Not a, yeah, let's go, both of them should be gone. People don't like Liam. People don't like Vaughn. That's just the way shit is. Vaughn is an asshole. I'm sorry. Vaughn is a dick. He will lie about all sorts of shit all over the fucking internet and gives zero fucks. I don't care if Liam says Vaughn is lying about him because Vaughn lies about everybody. Like, it's so unimportant. Like, their whole fight is fucking stupid. Right? Like, I don't care. But you gave people a binary choice. And the slums right now are pretty anti-Liam. So they're all gonna back fucking Vaughn. No, you don't need any Vaughn was leaking King's Room shit. You don't need to start some stupid fucking narrative. It's obvious. Like, unless you really, really, really want to make sure Vaughn can't ever come back because Vaughn was leaking private conversations now, according to Ethan, because he knows it in his gut. He don't know for sure, but it's his gut. His gut means everything because it is so gargantuan. It's an important gut. It keeps him from seeing his own dick. Right? Like, he knows it deep down. Crazy motherfucker. Just absolutely fucking crazy. I mean, you could have come up with something else besides that, man. This is why your book sucks so bad. It's so fucking bad. We're gonna go ahead and move on real quick to JDA. I know some of you guys like whatever, but this is actually kind of fascinating because it's so JDA. So incredibly typical of John Della Rose on a bunch of different levels. I'll show you. Okay, so first at right here, I wanted to show you guys, this is JDA's last video. And I went ahead and I took a screenshot of my DaVinci Resolve and my timeline. See that lime green shit right there? This video was 22 minutes and 24 seconds long, and that's how much of it was shilling. Shilling. Not storytelling, not talking about what fucking happened, but shilling. What the fuck? The first purple one there on the left side. Yeah, I guess that one, the one closest to me, that was him telling what happened. The rest of it is some bullshit excuses he made, some blame that he threw around, but literally, like, I ended up cutting this shit down to under 2 minutes. And I still included his bullshit excuses. So let me go ahead and fast forward. I wasn't sure how long I would take to talk right there.
So you see funding suspended for this project on Kickstarter 1 day ago. I woke up to this morning when I saw this, and I was like, wow, what's going on? And as you can see, I've got my my publisher, and of course, this is my pen name, Daniela Acera.
Okay, so first off, right off the bat, that's more than just that's JDA's wife, not his publisher. This account, this Daniela Acera account, used to have a different PFP altogether when he first started it. The old Twitter account, different PFP. This, somewhere between the Twitter, his first book, and now, on this account, on this Kickstarter account. He switched the profile pic to his wife. He doesn't mention anywhere that this is his wife. It is just his publisher. And no, she doesn't publish shit.
They reported this, saying that this was going to be like a, quote, stolen identity or whatever. Daniela Acera is a fake name, obviously, and it's a pen name. It means Danielle Steele. And so I thought it was funny, of course, as I develop this on stream, like I'll make a name that evokes Danielle Steele in Spanish. Now, what's funny about Danielle Steele specifically is you might have heard that name. It's a romance novelist. And again, it's a pen name. And actually, multiple people write under that pen name.
No, they do not. No, they do not. That is her. That is the name she's written under. For her, I believe it's actually her name. But only Danielle Steele writes under Danielle Steele. She is a real person. She has a mansion in fucking San Francisco over in Nob fucking Hill. I've seen it. I had a friend in high school that knew her son and used to go to parties at that house. Danielle Steele fucking exists as a real person. She still types her stories on the same fucking typewriter she's been using since the early 1970s. What the fuck? If you're gonna come up with a lie, come up with something better than Danielle Steele doesn't write her own fucking books.
James Patterson's very similar. If you buy a James Patterson's book, it's not necessarily James Patterson who actually wrote it, even though he is an actual person. But
yes, and when you buy a James Patterson book that is written by somebody else, it says so on the fucking cover. It says it right there on the cover. Go scroll. Go search James Patterson. Scroll through those results, and you'll see every book that wasn't written just by James Patterson has somebody else's name on the fucking cover. He came up and started using... Anyway.
There is no Danielle Steele, and that's...
I don't want to get ahead of myself.
What's funny about it. So then when I translate that to Spanish to be my heritage and, of course, write romance novels, that's pretty entertaining, right?
No. Because acera means pavement. It's asphalt. You would know this if you spoke Spanish. Acero is steel. But that's a masculine noun, right? So he thought, because it's Spanish, I can just change it to acera, and that'll be the feminine of steel. No, motherfucker, you changed it to pavement. To pavement. So, that was the notice that he received from Kickstarter last year that he was kicked off. And we're going to get to that in a little bit.
So I have one novel out, and I have crowdfunded it before successfully on here. And I did this a couple years ago. And this is a good novel. It's clean. It's wholesome. There's nothing to it. And it was delivered successfully. So I did my second one, which is this Breakpoint, which is, again, a tennis book. And it's just about a girl who falls in love with her coach, and that's that. It's pretty simple. There's nothing. It's innocuous. There's nothing to it that violates any standards or anything like that. But these people went around shrieking on X, and of course, getting people to mass report the campaign over the last month. So while this is sitting here and just collecting, people who are interested in reading this book, who just should be able to read a book. Again, there's no reason this should be banned under any reasonable sort of thing. These people were ending up harassing the whole situation. So this is what we had here. I got a notice about a, quote, stolen identity again, which doesn't make any sense because, by the way, when you put in Kickstarter, you have to put in a social security number. You have to put in an address. You have to put in and you have to put in and get verified through Stripe as a payment processing service. So my publisher publisher did that and is a real person. There's no stolen identity there. And my publisher actually had that in there just totally normally, totally legally, and there's nothing wrong with this. So it's a complete lie. It's just based on mass reporting. And that's exactly what's going on. And it's because people don't want me to be able to branch out and do different things in the arts. That's what it comes down to. And it's all because of the YouTube messaging.
It's all because of YouTube messaging. It has nothing to do with the fact that he was kicked off of Kickstarter last year under the name John Delarose. Nothing at all. Here, I'll play you the clip. Just the beginning. It's gonna sound mighty fucking familiar when you see it.
Well, we've reported a lot on this channel on how Ethan Van Sciver's been leading a cancel mob against me over the last month. It's been a lot to endure, and we've just persisted because we are making great comics. We are delivering. We're a real threat to him and his little grift that he has going on over there.
So I'm gonna go ahead and I'll read you what this says. It says, from the Kickstarter staff, October 4, 2024. Hi, Jonathan. Thank you for reaching out. We expect all Kickstarter users to comply with our rules. And then it gives you a URL to one of those rules. And community guidelines, and it gives you a URL to the community guidelines. Unfortunately, our investigations have found that you have been in violation of these guidelines. These principles help maintain the health and stability of the Kickstarter community. Failing to follow these rules may result in the revocation of certain account privileges, including the ability to launch a project on Kickstarter. Your project creation privileges have been revoked. Unfortunately, this decision is non-negotiable. Thank you for your understanding. The Kickstarter Trust and Safety. So that's what that says.
We're a real threat to the mainstream comic book industry. So I'm getting reported on all ends. It's very, very frightening, of course. And this is why we need alternative platforms at this point. I'm actually pretty shocked that Kickstarter went this far. Based on what happened with the early campaign and actually talking with the head of Kickstarter Comics a few times, I thought we'd be good to go. But it seems I got too successful.
He got too successful. Oh, yeah, no. No. Cider is Looney Tunes. We don't invite crazies onto our show. It's a new rule. Yeah. So it has the same pattern, right? Of course, it was mass flagging. It couldn't have been anything, possibly anything JDA himself may have done. Now, let me see. Yes, there it is. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you the rule on Kickstarter that JDA managed to break. So, this was the page in the URL, which he was kind enough to provide for us. This is from last year in October. And he actually talks about, he only had the one campaign up at the time. Excuse me. So, there's all this stuff here, and none of it actually applies to anything you could think of why JDA may have been kicked off. You've got, it should reflect the product's current state. Well, he had a fucking cover. I mean, it's a comic book. Misleading imagery. All right, so some of the art was shit, some of it wasn't. I guess you could call that misleading. Projects developing artificial intelligence. No, there's no AI. At least back then, JDA wasn't using it. Updates, yeah, he was really good about updating. So then I'm figuring it doesn't have anything to do with charity, no equity. Then we get down to the bottom where it says it can't involve prohibitive items. So what are the prohibitive items? So it's not, he's not pretending he's medicine, all this other shit. And we scroll down, it's not pornographic, it's not discrimination. Oh, wait. Projects that share things that already exist or repackage a previously created product without adding anything new or aiming to iterate on the idea in any way. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when JDA, like many creators, but JDA will blatantly put shit on these campaigns. So this is the campaign that got bumped. I should have gone all the way up to this, scrolled up to the top of this. I'm sorry. That got him kicked from Kickstarter, right? The Hidden Emperor, his sci-fi graphic novel. So he's got every book that he's had. There's like one variant. The prose novel he's already selling on fucking Amazon. The book he's selling on Amazon. The everything. Like the shit is selling on Amazon exactly as is. And so Kickstarter said, fuck you. And then he did the exact same thing with his little tennis story. Even better, he put this novel, which is selling on Amazon. On fucking Amazon. Plus, he'd already been kicked off, right? So here's JDA. He's been kicked off of fucking Kickstarter. His wife, I, does anybody believe that some of her information didn't cross over with some of his information? Who the fuck knows? Maybe he backed his own campaign with a credit card tied to the checking account that she's getting paid into. I have no fucking clue, but I'm sure it wasn't all that hard for Kickstarter to figure out that he was ban evading, and that is the stolen identity. Not that you're using a pen name that means pavement, but because you aren't supposed to be on the platform anymore. You can't use Indiegogo because you doxed Liam. Everything always comes back to fucking Liam, people. I'm sorry. It's just the way this corner of Comicsgate works. And now he's selling another book available on fucking Amazon. Right? So, yeah. That's the way it rolls with JDA. Because then you had the Worldcon. I don't know if you must know. JDA had been banned from Worldcon, but this is why. So, more specifically, for saying he was going to be filming people against their will. He had been offered a refund by Worldcon, as had his wife, according to the convention. I'm not surprised by this, considering that back on December 19th, Mr. Delarose was talking publicly about joining SFWA and wearing a body cam into the SFWA suite at the convention. See, it was never about him being able to take pictures on the convention floor. He was talking about literally just going into places where he wasn't allowed. And they're like, no, dude, we can't run that kind of risk. Fuck you, don't come. And then JDA starts screeching about pedophilia in science fiction and how he has to protest the Worldcon because of Marion Zimmer Bradley, Walter Breen, and Samuel Delaney, and a whole bunch of other people that have hurt children. So, of course, JDA does something wrong. JDA screams about degeneracy just like he did for the last year on Twitter about Kickstarter. Go look at his Twitter. He's been complaining about pornographic shit and sex toys and all of this degeneracy that they've got going over on Kickstarter. And then he wonders why they wouldn't be keeping an eye out for him. This one of those Daniel Acera books a couple of months ago was still tied to the JDA book account on Amazon. Anyway, so then Worldcon, of course, they recognize that there's going to be a protest, and this is because they banned JDA, right? JDA decides to hold a rally for freedom and anti-discrimination demonstration at Worldcon 76. And it just so happens that the Proud Boys are going to be in town at the exact same time. So this becomes a Proud Boy march. Now, keep in mind, JDA's fixer is his like thug, his bodyguard is some big troon. Some male to female trans that JDA uses as a shield cudgel, right? So when the Proud Boys say they're going to show up, then Antifa decides they're going to fucking show up too. Right? They're going to have a rally in support of immigrants, refugees, people of color, women, LGBTQ, and all those under attack by Trump's agenda and his violent supporters, which include, I guess, fucking JDA. And this is years ago, right? Then the greatest fucking thing ever happens. As the time gets closer and it becomes, they're going to have to go and do this thing. JDA cancels because of the air quality. I'm going to move that a little bit, make it a little bit easier to read. This is a really old website, and the archive page did not make it any easier. JDA actually cancels because the air quality was going to be poor down in San Jose, and so he couldn't go. It's just too fucking funny. It's just too funny. This was when JDA first came into contact with Patrick Tomlinson, right? So they've been at loggerheads forever. It's why JDA went after Tomlinson before Tomlinson's true lol-cal potential was discovered by everybody else. Not JDA, but everybody else. Yeah. I just thought I'd show you that this is how it happens. JDA goes and he says something fucking stupid and then gets thrown out, gets kicked off a platform because he broke the rules, just anything. He screams about degeneracy. He screams about how he's just being put upon because he's a Christian or whatever. And it's all fake. No, stalker child, you are going to prison. Yeah, but that's where he fucking met him. Was back then. Patrick Tomlinson was going to protect all the people at the convention from the protesters and give them escorts to their cars. Yeah. So weird. Everything just comes around into full circles and stuff. And then we have poor Riley. My gosh, young man. He has been used. He was brutalized. And this is what he posted in a Discord. Mint Salad Saw isn't coming back if it hasn't come back yet. On November 6th, Mint cheated on me with Schizo Sean. Oh, that is just so fucking gross. Just so gross. And on November 7th, before I could find out and writing the new high they found, they left with a bunch of my stuff in the middle of the night. Left me with all the bills, drove around to mutual friends' places and tried to force triangulation tactics on them. Then they took advantage of them and stole from a friend of mine that was helping them in Illinois until that friend and I went out of state to work together. And then the two of them drove back down to my house and broke in. I'd had the locks changed and stole more stuff. My neighbors called the police and they're going to likely spiral into more serious trouble from there. No, I don't know how much I believe. I don't. I don't know how much to believe of anybody at this point, but that sounds pretty brutal. So according to him, it gets so much weirder though. So this Sean dude moved into their house to help Mint produce her videos. And and they develop a thing, but they didn't develop a thing, but they didn't have a thing beforehand. Anyway, the kill stream was Tony and Vito, and I cut out a lot of the crossover lore, a lot of it going into this. So for those of you who may not know and may have seen, I got it somewhere here on the channel. There is a video that has been circulating for years of Ethan Ralph pulling up to this house, and the people in the house, basically Ralph ends up gunt to gunt, bopping back and forth, like weeble wobbles, with this other little fat guy, and it turns out that is Riley. He gets pounded on by Ethan Ralph gets pounded on by Mint. So they have a bit of a history. They've been around for a very long time. I believe they were living, Pantsu had some, I think Pantsu was living there too at the time, who turned out to be Ethan Ralph's second baby mama. Yeah, it's all just lots of people and lots of fucking weirdness from many different quarters. So I'm gonna go ahead and play. I cut out a lot of that lore from this. I also cut out a lot of Vito and Tony yelling at each other because that was just ridiculous. And whatever anybody has to say about it at this point is just relying on one side or the other. But let's go ahead and play a bit of this.
We don't know the timeline.
Well, I would say it would be a bad thing if she would come back around me after something like that happened. But regardless, that's what he said. And, I actually, when I first saw this story, I was gleeful because I was like, Ralph Amel curse. I even put it in there. And then when I got down to the bottom, I was like, you know what? I really was trying to not cover stuff like this as much anymore and do bigger things working on this Candace project, but it's just too juicy. It's too good. Not good for people involved necessarily, but good for entertainment. And they're all involved in the with my show and certain points in my life. And so I basically had to cover it. And so I feel like I kind of took it easy on him a little bit because I don't know. If that's true,
well,
she fucked him over.
Dude, but Riley is obviously the victim in this situation. I mean, if Mint said, listen, I'm breaking up with you, I'm leaving with Schizo Shine, you go, well, that's unfortunate, but, people break up, whatever. But, to do it surreptitiously, to not pay the rent, to steal the camera, steal the comic book, steal the car, run away in the dead of night, then, after Riley changes the locks, wait for him to go out of town, go back, break in again,
Allegedly.
steal more shit. Like
Vito, I know you love the filibuster, but I can answer
okay.
All right, I'm done. If Tony's gonna just interrupt me, I'm just leaving.
No,
so you want to cut Tony?
No, I'm
gonna leave. You got about 2 seconds.
Vito,
no, here's the thing. You're saying like six things. Bro, I'm sorry, but he's saying like 6 different things.
Why can't you just fucking do what I tell you to do? I'm the moderator on this show, and you keep cutting people off. He's not wrong. Both you guys are cutting people off. But anyway.
I'm sorry, bro. I apologize.
Thank you, brother, and good luck on everything.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Enjoy Frog Tony. Hopefully he'll be more normal.
I just couldn't keep it. I couldn't keep it going with you both. It's okay.
I'm like, dude, I'm not even arguing with you. It's like the second he comes on, he's gonna argue with me. I'm like, bro, I'm just trying to have a fucking conversation. Every fucking thing I say, he's a fucking contrarian. Enjoy him.
Thank you, brother. All right, now. Okay. It turned into a blood sports that I didn't plan on, and sometimes I can just let that go, but he was the book guest, and obviously you guys have some kind of heat, and I actually yelled one time, and still there was no moderation respecting going on there, and it's like, okay, well, we just separate it. And originally I thought that's probably the best idea anyway, but okay, so you talked to Riley. Finish up with what else he told you, if you left anything out.
So yeah, that first time when I talked to Riley, he was just saying that he still wanted to try to make content with Mint and Sean, and that maybe they could still get along and everything. he wasn't really upset. And then, like I said, he was saying he didn't have no money, no job. And I actually offered Riley, I said, Riley, well, if you came up this way, where I'm at in Chicago, I said I might be able to get you a job with me, right? But he's like, well, no, I got no way to get anywhere. But he's like, maybe later, because I got to contact some guy, I know a guy. And then Mint had DM'd me on Twitter, was like, hey, I'm coming up towards your way. You want to meet for lunch or dinner, and we can talk. And she said it in a way that I think she didn't know that I knew that she had broken up with Riley at the time, right? And I even told Riley, because I even talked to Riley again. I was like, hey, Mint had reached out to me, and I think she doesn't know that I know you guys are broken up.
All right, they came up there. What's her side? By the way, I said arrest her. If she broke into the house and stole all that shit, I would probably have her arrested. I ain't gonna lie. Give her side of the story.
So she told me that, I guess, prior to this trip with Schizo Sean being there, that he had came previously to stay with them for a while. And that the plan was that Schizo Sean was going to move in with them to start making content from the house. And that he was going to, Riley confirmed this when I talked to Riley, that they were supposed to show Schizo Sean how to direct Mint in her movie reviews and to help her do that, so that way Schizo Sean and Mint would make the movie review.
Right.
Yeah, so because the idea was that Riley would be less of a coworker and be able to be more of a boyfriend. Right? And so Sean had came back, moved in, started working with them. And so Riley's version of it is that Mint is lazy, doesn't want to do anything, and that Sean is completely incompetent. Their version is Riley micromanaged too much, and that got on everybody's nerves, and that's why it took so long to get everything done, right? And then I guess during this whole thing, Mint developed a crush on Sean, and eventually feelings developed, and they decided that she didn't want to be with Riley no more, that Riley had settled.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If Mint moved some dude into the house, she was already interested in doing the dude she's moving into your house. Like, this is just fucking ridiculous. How do you not know that? And Tony, how do you pretend that you don't know that? I know you're simping hard for Mint, bruh. Hard for Mint. Like, at one point he starts saying, Riley, when he told me all this stuff that she said that she was gonna say about him, and she didn't say any of it. Because she didn't have to you, dude. You bought everything she had to say. All she had to do was show up in your vicinity and shake her tits at you, bruh. Like, yeah. Yeah. If she stole stuff, call the police. And if you can't, then we know what's true. Riley is reportedly a genius, though. How could this have happened? I don't know, Colonel Morgan. Thank you for being here this evening, my fake producer. I'm going to continue on. This is doesn't have very much left.
That he was no longer ambitious and no longer, looking to better himself and do things, make content.
Giving us all this.
Yeah, I've seen Vito buttering you up before he was giving you the pro Riley speech.
Well, you know what? He's right. That part he said about me. And the Riley, I'm trying to stay neutral. I do. I don't know. I like Riley. I've talked to him. We've gotten fights, like I said. I hate that happened to him. I think just leaving in the middle of the night, that's not cool. It's happened to me. Is what I'll
it's
say.
not cool.
And
That's why I reached out for Riley. Like I said, I was concerned and I reached out, but Mint is also my friend. So
well,
I'm not
yeah,
just
I
gonna
understand.
Be
And like I said, that's why, I think this was a fair presentation here, honestly. And so I'll ask you this to finish it off. Vito said how can you not see this situation as Riley as the victim? Who do you think is the victim in this situation, or is it just there is no victim? It's just an unfortunate thing.
I don't think there is a victim. I think it's unfortunate. Two people didn't work out. They fell out of love, right? It happens. I mean, if this was a movie, depending on which genre, you either go, oh man, it's so romantic that she ran off with Schizo Sean. If it's a different genre, you go, oh man, it sucks that Riley got cucked, and now we follow his journey, right? So I guess whoever you like better is the victim, right?
If it's true that she stole Riley's shit, Riley's a victim. Now, do I think Riley was probably an asshole to live with? Yes. Do I think they fought a lot? Yes. Do I think it was all Riley's fault? No. No. That relationship has been toxic since the start, and that it lasted as long as it has is just beyond my ken. I do not understand. I will never understand. They're all horrible people. All of it. I have no idea what's true. I have no idea who to believe, because everybody telling the stories is a certifiable, proven liar. But they broke up, which is just fucking hilarious. What does that mean for Katydid and Mint's show? Well, apparently Mint stole the cameras and all the equipment, so I guess she could still join Katydid and have her ass to the camera and stuff. I don't know. Could be exciting. Could be. And since I made you guys sit through all of this very long live stream for me, have a baby aardvark. Yeah. That's it. That's all I have for the night. Feels like a lot. It also feels like I went through stuff really, really quickly and probably didn't say half of what I had to say or what I was thinking of as I was putting this all together. But yeah, that Schizo Sean dude is just gross. Riley's just gross. Mint, she's just kind of... They all just make me want to shower after seeing their pictures online. And not the naked ones either. Aw, Glenn. Hello, Clickety Cat. The baby aardvark. Good night, Michael Shanks. Good night, everybody. Have a great week. Hopefully, I see you here next week. Thank you. And Shigama.